Welcome to Brown Girls Can, the podcast where black and brown brilliance meets real talk. This podcast is your safe space to be seen, heard, and of course, celebrated. I'm your host, Shateria, the founder and visionary behind the Brown Girls Can brand and movement. Every podcast episode, we're gonna laugh loud and dive deep into the stories, careers, and bold dreams of women who are redefining what's possible. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of Brown Girls Can, the podcast. Y'all know I'm your host, Shateria, and welcome to season 2. Welcome to season 2, okay? So, y'all, it has been, when I tell you, trying to get life together. Woo! Let's do a little catch up. So, Brown Girls Can, we had an amazing festival last October, and we are planning some new and exciting things. One big thing for the summer and then one big thing for the fall. So I'm prepping for that. And while I have been prepping and planning and doing all the things, y'all know ChatGPT from last season. ChatGPT is still my best friend. And so one day I was laying in the bed and I had my YouTube on, and my day master element, like a video about your day master element, it popped up and I started listening to it. So I asked ChatGPT what my day master element was, and it said that mine was yin, fire, and the Chinese astrology, it kind of correlates wealth with your day master element. So you use it to kind of get to a wealthy place. So I looked mine up, and y'all want to know what this told me about myself and my wealth. It said that my wealth is tied directly to me being seen and me being visible. Well, I go through these stages, these spurts where I don't want to be bothered. I like my privacy. I like being to myself. I don't really like hanging with like a crowd, like a crew. I don't really have a group of like, besties like that. And I really started to kind of unpack what that is about or what that means, right? And it stems back from childhood. So I've always, when my parents passed away, I have always just identified as being by myself. I'm an only child. When my parents passed, I'm the only one that both of them had. So, I didn't have any siblings. And so I just learned to be by myself. I learned to be self-sufficient. And so I get in these stages and these moments where I know that I am supposed to be in front of the camera. I know that I'm supposed to be talking to people, encouraging people, teaching people. I do know that I've been seeing the word called and teacher and instructor and all these things. And people have been messaging me, DMing me, asking, can I get on your schedule? Can I get on your calendar just to talk to you, just to, hear what you have to say about certain things that I'm going through? What would your advice be? And so I'm trying to get all of that stuff together. I have been preparing and getting my link tree and all of those links and everything together. But I decided that I was going to do a be seen challenge for myself. I wasn't really chasing like a number of likes. I wasn't chasing a number of new subscribers or new followers. What I was endeavoring to do was I was endeavoring to sell my products. I have been a creator ever since I can remember. Um, I have the uncanny ability to make things go from my brain to my hand. I can think of something and then tangibly make it happen. So I'm like, you know what? What good is it for me to have created these things and nobody know about it? It's just like, you create this amazing recipe, but you never bake the cake for anybody else to taste. So it's just kind of like it stops with you. And I know that that's not what legacy is about. Legacy is about going beyond you. And so whenever I see the word legacy, I think of my parents because I know that I'm their legacy. And, even though they are no longer here, I am what is carrying their name on beyond them. So I was like, you know what? For the next 30 days, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be committed to posting 3 times a day on Facebook, on TikTok, and on Instagram. I have not posted on Instagram for some years. Every once in a while I'll post a picture or something, but that was my lowest subscriber or follower count. And I had like 10,000, almost 11,000 on Facebook and almost 15. Well, I did have a little bit over 15,000 on TikTok. But like I said, I was not looking to grow my audience. I wasn't looking to grow my followers. I knew that would be like a byproduct of it. But my main thing was sell your products. So I will be remiss if I did an episode on being visible, being seen, selling your products, and not tell you what I have been working on. So I'm going to start with like all the Brown Girls Can stuff because y'all know this is Brown Girls Can, the podcast, right? So Brown Girls Can is a empowerment movement that is dedicated to amplifying the stories and the journeys of Black women, teens, and girls. And we are a platform that allows them to be seen, heard, and celebrated. So we have a lot of different products for a lot of different age groups. This is the Coloring Book of Affirmations, and it is a coloring book that helps you just unwind. Sometimes I just grab some markers and I open it up to a page and I just start coloring. And what I love about this book is that every page that you open it up to, it ministers to you, like it resonates, right? The pages I just turned on, it says, "You are not a mistake. You have a divine purpose. Go." And it has a traffic light. The other side of the page says, "Bet on you every time." And she's at the casino. And so, and y'all, Las Vegas, I'm going to move this year. Mark my words, okay? So this is for sale. The Coloring Book of Affirmations. We also have, and that's for all ages, we also have the Alphabet of Possibilities. This is for little girls. It teaches them the alphabet, but also teaches them the possibilities of career paths that are available to them. And it just is so cute. Of course, I did it with the help of AI, but it is amazingly cute, okay? And to see some of the little girls read this book, and to see themselves, a lot of the pages in this book were inspired by Black women that I know who are excelling in these fields. So that is Brown Girls Can, the Alphabet of Possibilities. So you can gift the gift of representation, and little girls being able to see themselves is amazing, right? Last book, I would say. Last journal is the I Can Daily Progress Journal. And this I've been using actually in my Be Seen challenge. 30 days, I've been keeping myself accountable with this book, with this journal. And it's been amazing. On the inside, it says it gives you a place for the date. Um, and it says, my capabilities on today, I can. And you just fill it out. My goals for today, I will. My accomplishments from today, I did. So it's I can, I will, I did. And then at the bottom, it has a little place where you can put what you're grateful for, and then how you're feeling, your emotions. So this is great for people who are trying to track something, trying to keep track of your progress on something. So that is that. And then last Brown Girls Can thing, y'all know Brown Girls Can combo game. I have sold quite a few of these. These cards are amazing for girls' nights. Um, it is 144 cards. It's for ages 21 and up because there are some sensual questions that are not suitable for teens. So I would say 21 and up, but you can use discretion if you are a mom or a parent and want to just weed out the questions for the teens. That is an option as well. I am trying to work on a teen and young adult little kid one. So bear with me. Like I said, I'm a creator. And so I have so many ideas, so many things I want to do, but trying to pace myself and realize that everything doesn't have to be done all at once. Another thing that I'm working on for Brown Girls Can is Brown Girls Can Universe. And so right here, I'm going to clip in one of the songs that I made. I've been learning AI, learning how to do different things. So I'm going to clip in one of the songs from Brown Girls Can Universe where you can subscribe, and there will be daily affirmations, little story times, things that empower our little brown girls. Okay. So here is one of the songs. Y'all enjoy.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, good morning me. Look in the mirror, who do I see? Soft brown skin and curls, so sweet. Twisted, puff it, oh, 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 so neat. Splish, splash, water goes, rubber dub shampoo flows. Swish, swish, comb it through. My hair is magic, yes, it's true. Crown on my head, yes, it's mine. Coily, curly, shining bright. Bounce, bounce, watch it grow. I love my hair, I love it so. Crown on my head, yes, it's mine. Coily, curly, shining bright. Bounce, bounce, watch it grow. I love my hair, I love it so. Part it here, clip it there. Beads go click, clack in my hair. Twist, twist, braid it tight. My crown is looking just right. Fluff it up, poof, poof, yay! Rock my style all through the day. Spin around, let it shine. This beautiful crown is mine, all mine. On my head, yes, it's mine. Coily, curly, shining bright. Bounce, bounce, watch it grow. I love my hair, I love it so. Crown on my head, yes, it's mine. Coily, curly, shining bright. Bounce, bounce, watch it grow. I love my hair, I love it so. Off I go, I'm ready now. Walking tall with my crown. Wow! Big smile, bright and free. My crown shows the world me.
All right, so that was one of the cute songs that I created with AI and doing like a course and training. I'm always looking to learn more. And so if you enjoyed that, make sure you head on over to Brown Girls Can Universe and subscribe for your little ones, okay? The last thing that I have been working on, I wanted to get into digital products, things that I don't have to manufacture. You can create it one time and it's just there. People can print it out, save it, download it, and you recoup a lot of those funds. So I created the Limelight podcast launch kit. Now, a lot of people do not know from this podcast, the audience here, I've never talked about it, but I did used to own a podcast studio, right? And so a lot of people say, well, no wonder you know how to do all the technical things. And, I learned all of that. And I don't even remember, like, I try to remember what the pull was to start a podcast studio. I don't even remember. I do remember meeting with Marcus from TVFCU, and I told him, I said, I want to start a podcast studio. And he was like, is that financially sound? Like, he was really giving me big brother advice, and I wasn't listening. So I started the podcast studio, and I did have a couple of podcasts come out of that. But ultimately I shut it down. And I remember feeling like, dang, I failed at this. But I really learned. I learned the audio equipment. I learned how to engineer. I learned a little bit of editing through that process, right? So fast forward to now where I have this, and then people are asking me, well, how, I don't even know how to start. Like, you travel with your podcast, you have guests on. Like, how do I pick the guests? What do I do? How do I invite them? How do I edit? Like, what equipment do I buy? I put all of that into a digital ebook for you. So if you are interested in starting your own podcast, listen, I spared no expense. Okay. All of the gems. I mean, I give you everything from some email templates that I actually use to invite guests on to Brown Girls Can, how we treat guests like celebrities, because your podcast is a superstar status, like, and getting into the name, securing, your publishing platforms, all of that. Every single thing you need to know about podcasting is in this kit. So you can go online to browngirlscan.org and purchase any and all of this info. Now, of course, we also have wearable merch. You can get you a hoodie, a sweatshirt, a beanie. We have wine glasses and coffee mugs, which I'm not sipping today because I just didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling like sipping, but I could have had some tea or something. But yeah, we have a lot of different things, and I have just made up in my mind that I am no longer okay with having all of this stuff, having created all of this stuff, and only a few people know about it. I'm not okay with that anymore. So that's what this episode is about. The season 2 opener. It's about being seen. And I was on TikTok, and I did a duet with a guy named Michael. And he was talking about how if we don't want to be seen, there's probably a visibility wound, and we have to heal it. And if you want the things that you want in life, you have to heal that. And so I remember when I looked up my Daymaster element, I was like, I got to be in front of the camera. I got to tell my story. I got to tell about these products, because what good is it for just my city to know when there's a whole world that I could be speaking to, pouring into through my products? So I'm just like, no more. I'm not staying quiet. I'm not hiding anymore. I remember when I first said, I'm going to do the Be Seen challenge, and for the next 30 days, I'm going to show up. I'm going to post 3 times a day. And I was like, I don't care whose nerves I get on. Like, Pretty Little Thing, and what's the other one? Is it Shein? They text you and they don't care what time it is, what Coca-Cola still advertises, right? The world knows about Coke. Coca-Cola is probably the most popular soft drink, right? But they understand that there may be people who have never heard of Coke before. And so I just got it in my head that even if I posted 3 times a day for the next however many years, there will still be people who have never heard of Brown Girls Can. There will still be people who have never heard of the Limelight podcast skit. So I just have been determined. When I say determined, to be visible. And I saw something too the other day because, of course, the word visible and the words be seen are in my algorithm really strong because I hashtag be seen challenge from all of the videos. But I saw something that said being visible is not the same as being seen. So I was like, dang. So just because you see yourself as being visible don't mean that people are seeing you. I have just gotten to a place, and it really boils down to the people pleasing. Like, I just don't care what people think anymore. I don't. I it's kind of like that entrepreneurial dream, where people say you bet on yourself for something that only you can see. And when I was trusted with this vision, and Lord knows it's a huge vision, it's a big vision. I need a team, I need finances, I need lots of things, right? But I'm going to do the best that I can do with what I have. And I know that that effort is going to reach the people that it needs to reach. But I realized that I wasn't doing all that I could with all that I had. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving connections on the table. I'm leaving money on the table. I'm leaving all this stuff on the table because what, I don't feel like it. Because what, my hair ain't done. Because I rather just chill out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you can't honor those feelings. You can't honor that unction. Because I will tell you, I go through these seasons, like I said, where I don't feel like being bothered. And I honor that. I do. I honor those moments. But there are also times where I push through. And I'm just like, yeah, I got to do this though. I got to be consistent. That's one of the reasons why I created this progress journal, is because I struggled heavily with consistency. I would show up, especially when I was building my previous business. I used to be the owner of an event rentals company. And when I was building that business, marketing for me was everything when building that business. I marketed everything around that business, and I had that camera on to document. It was almost like in my head, I was like, one day somebody gonna look at these videos and they gonna be like, I can't believe she did all of this from that little. I used to have a black Honda van. I would fold the seats down. This is so crazy. I would fold the back seats down, and I would stack those marquee letters in the back. And I just remember being like, somebody is going to find this journey interesting or inspiring. But I kept marketing that way because, one, it was free. It was free for me to set up my camera, but I knew that if I hired a videographer or some agency to come and do it, they would charge me an arm and a leg, money that I did not have as an entrepreneur starting out. Really, I say starting out, but the whole way, if it was money that I could keep, I wanted to keep it. So I marketed the business through social media, and people found out about what I did, the services that I offered, who I was, and people wanted to buy my services. They wanted to invest in my services because they knew my story. My story was connected to my social media strategy, showing up when I didn't feel like it, going to pick up letters and balloons at 1:00 in the morning. What people like the journey. But I also had to learn that, and I think that this is where I used to be like, okay, I don't feel like recording. I don't feel like, because being in the moment, being present, being where your feet are, that's important too. And so finding the balance between always having a camera on or always wanting to push record, finding a healthy balance. But just in this moment, what I just heard was, we are supposed to be seen in our present moments too. So like, if I'm at a family function and, I am surrounded by family, like, be present there. You should be seen being present by your family. Does that make sense? They should see you actively being present in the moment. So while I am the recorder of the family, I'm going to take your picture. I don't care if you got an attitude about it. Because, my grandmother recently went through some medical issues, and they told us she had 48 hours to live. And all I could do was go back and replay all of the things that I had recorded. And I'm grateful that I have. But in those moments, it's like, what would be more important? The recordings or her knowing that Pookie loved me. Pookie was there. Pookie, she was present. I seen it. It was visible to me. So that kind of learning that balance for me is something else that I'm, working on. But this year, I'm not, like I said, I'm moving. I have a date in my head. And is everything lined up? No. And I'm going to get emotional because, I would be a hypocrite. I would be lying if I said that there's not a little bit of fear there. But I know that the calling and what I'm destined to do, I can't let the fear hold me back anymore. And that's the part about being seen that kind of scares people. The vulnerability, the exposure, people being nosy and wanting to be in your business, all of that's a part of it, right? And now I think we are moving into this new world, this new society where creators and people who are authentically themselves, who are seen, those are the new celebrities. Those are the new people to lead and teach. And so I don't know what's next, but I know that I'm committed to showing up. I'm committed to helping the people that I'm assigned to help. Because that's another thing I've learned, that everybody is not your assignment. You cannot help everybody as much as you want to. Somebody's going to be upset. Somebody's going to be mad. Somebody's going to be hurt. Somebody's going to feel away. But at the end of the day, the people that you help are the people you are assigned to help. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the move. I'm excited about the new opportunities coming my way. Whenever I post about Brown Girls Can, the podcast, I get so much love from people who, want to be on the podcast or want, more information of how they can help. And that's another thing that I'm learning. And you may be struggling with this too, accepting help. Society has made it so negative. There's such a stigma around accepting help. Well, no, because I don't want them to think that I'm good, because your pride won't let you. Okay. No, we cannot continue moving like that. And I am guilty of it myself. So in this next season, this is season 2, welcome. I hope that you are ready for the conversations that we are going to have with some amazing guests who are forging awesome paths in their own right. Let me know in the comments, who should I interview? Who should be on the other brown couch? Who should be in the other brown chair? Where should I go? Where should I travel to? I do have a few cities lined up for the rest of season 2, so I'm excited about that. I'm just excited. I'm ready to do it. Like, I've been prepping. Somebody told me this the other day, Miss Rebecca Suttles. She helped me get college scholarships when I graduated in 2009. And now we've been reconnected through my current job. And she was like, everything that you have built and you have done, it's been preparation for the next step. Like, you can't think that the stuff that you're creating here, that's it, that this is like, no. And so I just can't wait to see. And I know that as the journey unfolds and as things happen, it'll all make sense. So I'm just saying, let it all work out. I know that I'm going to be a millionaire, at least a multimillionaire. I know that is coming. I was on Wheel of Fortune. That was an amazing experience. But I was the only one on the show to land on the $1 million wedge, pick it up. And I'll have to show y'all my screensaver. I will never forget, I made this screensaver for my lock screen on my phone. And I remember after the show, I looked at my lock screen and I said, I should have created it to where I was like excited or holding the money, or that I should have created a picture that exuded the feeling of winning. But what I created was me holding the $1 million thing, which that's what happened. So I am just in such a high vibrational energy, and I know that I'm anointed for such a time as this, where things are shifting. people who are delusional, or so they say, they're having their way. They're getting what they want. They're getting what they say they'll have. And I'm like, why not me? Every opportunity that comes my way, yes. CapCut, because I've been making these reels and posting 3 times a day, I didn't even know that I was eligible for a bonus on Facebook. I've been monetized on there for, I don't know, some years. Since I was doing Simply Props, I would market and promote on there all the time. So I've been monetized since, I had that business. So I started posting, and then Facebook sends me a notification like, congratulations, you earned your bonus. And I'm like, what bonus? And it was like an extra, $56? And I'm like, from being consistent and from just posting. From being consistent, from just posting, but from honoring my commitment to showing up. CapCut, they also sent me like this thing that invited me to apply for like a creator's something, so that when you create templates, you may be eligible for bonuses. And at first I was like, no, I don't make templates enough. But then I had to say, if they offered it to me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to try. I'm gonna shoot for the stars and land it up there. What do I have to lose? What do you have to lose? I remember when I said, I'm going to do this challenge for the next 30 days, and I caught myself. I was about to say, no, I'm going to start it May 1st. And then I was like, I caught myself. I'm like, no, I'm going to start it tomorrow. Who told us that just because it don't start on a Sunday or a Monday at the beginning of the week or the first of the month, that it's harder to keep track of? The days gonna go by just like any other time, whether you start on the first or you start on the 26th. The days are gonna go. So I'm like, no, I'm not letting things trick me anymore. I'm not letting my mind play games with me. Somebody is waiting. And I use this analogy when I teach business mindset. You are the answer to somebody's prayer, which means the reason why I'm feeling tugged to move and tugged to go is because there's somebody where I'm being called to. Somebody there is praying for a girl who has an organization that's geared toward Black. There's somebody praying for what you have. And I am no longer letting my mind trick me and say, they ain't praying for me. Like, yeah, people praying for that, but me? Like, who am I? You are that girl. And so I'm done playing small. I'm done playing small. I'm going to show up. Whether I have on full face of makeup or no lashes at all. Because I want to be authentically myself, but I want to show up as the millionaire that I am. I want to show up as the girl who right now I have a podcast recording at 10, and then I have a school career fair, or I got to go teach at a school. I've been asked to come and teach at schools. I've been asked if I have curriculum. You are that girl. For people to even think highly enough of me, and I really had to like whoop my own self. For people to think so highly of me, to even ask, do you have curriculum? Like, this, your thing is amazing. Do you have things that teachers can buy from you? Because of the quality of the things that I have produced, they're asking me about bigger things. So you think I'm not going to be seen this season? You out your mind. Or maybe I'm out of mind. Who knows? No, seriously. I'm excited. Stay tuned for this season. That's all I got to say. I've got some heavy hitters coming through to talk to y'all. So yeah, until the next episode. Thanks for vibing with us on Brown Girls Can, the podcast. If you felt this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your girl gang. You can catch us on social media on Instagram at Brown Girls Can, the podcast, and on Facebook at Brown Girls Can. And remember, you are already everything you are becoming. So until next time, keep showing up, glowing up, and choosing you. Always remember that you can do anything.